So here's what nobody saw coming. Prince Harry didn't just book a quick flight back to the UK for tea with the king or some feel-good charity gala. No, he vanished. Last minute. No schedule. No press. Just gone. And the reason? It wasn't the royals. It wasn't Meghan. It was Tyler Perry, the very man who once gave them a place to hide when the world turned against them, now rumored to be sitting on a vault of footage that could blow their carefully crafted image wide open. Tapes, private conversations, off-camera truths. And if even a fraction of what insiders are whispering is real, this isn't just a PR problem, it's a full-blown threat to everything Harry and Meghan have built. But how did a trusted friend become the biggest danger to their empire? Let's get into it. Prince Harry didn't just casually book a flight, he bolted. No formal summons from the royal family. No charity event on the calendar. Just an unexpected, private jet out of California, straight to the UK. And what really set off alarm bells? Not a single public explanation. Not even a carefully crafted press release. Just silence. Sources close to the situation say this wasn't about duty or family, it was about damage control. Panic mode. Because behind the scenes, something big was unraveling. And at the center of it all, Tyler Perry. The man who once opened his doors when Harry and Meghan were at their most vulnerable, now rumored to be holding hours of footage from their stay. Not interviews, not staged content. We're talking raw, unfiltered moments recorded without cameras in their faces, but possibly with microphones nearby. Insiders say Harry made the trip in a desperate attempt to contain the situation before the media could sink its teeth in. Whatever's on those tapes, if they exist, isn't just awkward. It could be devastating. And the craziest part? He may already be too late. Because if Perry is staying quiet, it's not because he has nothing to say. It's because he's deciding when to say it. Tyler Perry wasn't just a friend. He was their lifeline. When Harry and Meghan cut ties with the royal family and found themselves without security, without a home, and under media fire, it was Perry who stepped in. He offered them privacy, protection, and a safe place to regroup. Meghan once called him her guardian angel. He became godfather to their daughter. That's not friendship, that's family. But now, that relationship may be completely shattered. According to multiple insiders, Perry didn't just welcome them into his estate, he documented their stay. Hours of footage. 17, to be exact. Not for a reality show. Not for a documentary. Just documented. Conversations. Rants. Media plans. Private moments. The kind of footage no publicist ever wants to see the light of day. And Perry? He's not denying it. He's not confirming it either. He's saying nothing. And that silence is louder than any headline. Because in Hollywood, when someone with Perry's power goes quiet, it's not out of kindness. It's strategy. People in his circle say the change started when Meghan began quietly erasing him from her image, deleting shout-outs, removing podcast references, distancing herself right as Perry's own legal troubles heated up. To him, that wasn't a coincidence. It was a message. And now, he might be sending one back. 17 hours. That's how much footage Tyler Perry is rumored to have captured during Harry and Meghan's stay at his estate. But this isn't just security cam noise or a few harmless behind-the-scenes moments. According to insiders who claim to have seen snippets, it's something way more serious. The tapes allegedly show the couple doing what their public image says they never do, plotting, rehearsing talking points, mapping out media appearances, discussing headlines before they happened. These aren't the raw, emotional royals we saw on Netflix. These are two very calculated figures building a brand, line by line. Some of the recorded conversations, if true, directly contradict the vulnerable, victim-focused narrative they've spent years crafting. We're talking about private rants, unfiltered opinions, and possibly even comments about the royal family that were never meant for public ears. And that's the danger. If this footage leaks, it won't just be a hit piece. It could destroy the entire foundation of the Sussex brand: authenticity, transparency, truth-telling. One source put it bluntly, it doesn't just expose hypocrisy. It exposes intent. So far, nothing's gone public. Not yet. But the fear inside the Montecito estate isn't about if, it's about when. Because if Harry decides to share even a fraction of what he's holding, the entire narrative could collapse overnight. Inside the Montecito mansion, things aren't just tense, they're unraveling. Meghan's once flawless inner circle, the same team that helped build her image into a blend of royal prestige and Hollywood charm, is crumbling fast. Stylists are gone. PR advisors have gone silent. A few insiders? They walked. Others? Let go. The ones who stayed are locked behind stricter-than-ever NDAs. The energy that used to buzz around her brand, talk shows, launches, deals, is now replaced by something colder: silence, suspicion, and damage control. Behind the scenes, it's full lockdown. Not just the physical security, which has reportedly been ramped up and rotated more often, but emotional and reputational security too. Meghan, once confident and media-savvy, is now said to be guarded, even paranoid. Every meeting is off the books. Every call is vetted. Conversations are no longer about building the future. They're about surviving the present. And it's not just optics. Her business projects are feeling the ripple effect. The clean slate cooking show? Delayed. Her follow-up podcast? Quietly pushed back. No promotion. No buzz. Just nothing. The meltdown isn't loud, it's quiet. Strategic. Controlled on the surface, but chaotic underneath. And that's what makes it even more dangerous. Because if the foundation is already cracking before anything even leaks, what happens when the truth does? Behind the glamour of Montecito lies a financial reality that's becoming harder to ignore. That massive $100 million Netflix deal, the one that was supposed to be Harry and Meghan's golden parachute, isn't so golden anymore. Insiders say the payout's been slashed to just $20 million after viewership fell short and multiple planned projects were quietly canceled before they ever reached production. That sudden income drop is more than just inconvenient, it's a serious problem. Their sprawling $14 million estate comes with massive upkeep, towering property taxes, round-the-clock security, and the kind of luxury lifestyle that doesn't run on goodwill. Without consistent, high-revenue deals, the financial strain is very real. Sources close to the couple whisper about foreclosure being a possibility. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but the threat is on the table. Meanwhile, Meghan's lifestyle brand has stalled. The clean slate cooking show got lukewarm test reviews, some even calling it stiff and performative. And the follow-up to her Archetypes podcast? Missing in action. No launch date. No buzz. Even their nonprofit, the Archwell Foundation, is reportedly feeling the squeeze. Big donors, once eager to align with their modern royalty brand, are pulling back. Donations are slowing. Interest is fading. In the world of celebrity branding, perception is power. And when your empire is built on public image, losing control of that narrative means losing everything, including the money that keeps it all standing. Tyler Perry hasn't posted. He hasn't spoken. He hasn't leaked a single clip. And that silence? It's not just noticeable, it's terrifying. Because in Hollywood, silence isn't always peace. Sometimes it's strategy. And coming from a man as media-savvy and powerful as Perry, it feels less like absence and more like warning. Insiders say major media networks have already reached out, offering millions for exclusive access to the alleged footage. If Perry decides to play ball, Harry and Meghan might not even get a heads up before the story explodes. It could drop without context, without control, and with maximum impact. But legal questions are circling too. Who owns the footage? Some say Perry does. If it was filmed in his home with their knowledge, it's his archive. Others argue privacy laws could complicate things. Either way, the threat doesn't need to go public to do damage. The idea of the tapes alone has triggered lockdown mode inside the Sussex camp. And Meghan? She's reportedly operating like she's under siege. Meetings are off the calendar, off-site, off the record. Security is tighter. Staff access is limited. Everything points to one thing. She's not just worried about a betrayal, she's expecting one. Because when someone like Perry stays silent, it's rarely without purpose. And that silence? It may already be costing them everything. The brand Harry and Meghan spent years building, one carefully shaped around resilience, truth and reinvention is slipping. And this time, it's not just public opinion turning, it's the industry. Hollywood insiders who once celebrated Meghan's Royal Meets Hollywood appeal are quietly backing away. Not necessarily out of loyalty to Perry, but out of self-preservation. No one wants to be caught in the blast radius of a collapsing narrative. Brand deals have stalled. Invitations are drying up. The glow that once followed her into every room has dimmed, and investors can feel it. What made them powerful wasn't just their story, it was the control of that story. Now, that control is gone. And every silence, every delayed project, every reshuffled staff meeting only reinforces one thing: something's wrong. Even their nonprofit, Archwell, isn't immune. Donations are slowing. Big-name backers are hesitating. Questions are being asked, not just about where the money goes, but whether this is a ship worth staying on. Inside the mansion, the focus isn't growth anymore, it's survival. And in the business of branding, when your team shifts from building to defending, it's usually already too late. The Sussexes aren't telling the story anymore. They're reacting to it. And the longer Perry stays quiet, the more dangerous that story becomes. This entire implosion might have been avoidable. That's the hardest part. Insiders say the turning point wasn't some explosive fight or dramatic fallout. It was subtle, strategic even. While Tyler Perry was battling a $260 million lawsuit, Meghan's team quietly began removing him from her public image. Mentions disappeared. Podcast shoutouts were edited. Social media posts vanished. No warning, no explanation. To Perry's circle, it looked like she was scrubbing him clean. The man who sheltered them during their darkest moment was suddenly a liability and treated like one. And that's when everything changed. It wasn't just personal. It was symbolic. Perry wasn't just cut out, he was erased. And that sent a message: you're no longer useful. Now, he may be sending a message of his own. Because if someone like Perry, once their fiercest protector, now holds the receipts and is willing to use them, then what does that say about how far this relationship has fallen? Some say if Meghan had stood by him, publicly or even privately, those tapes might have stayed buried. But when she hit delete, she didn't just remove a name, she triggered a response. And now, the Sussexes are learning the cost of burning a bridge with someone who has the power to expose what they never wanted seen. Right now, the Sussex brand isn't just struggling, it's in freefall. But the most dangerous part? We're still in the calm before the storm. No tapes have leaked. No interviews have aired. No official statements have been made. But the threat is alive, and it's shaking everything they've built. Every phone call is double-checked. Every meeting is hush-hush. Staff are being vetted, silenced, or removed altogether. Even their trusted Hollywood allies are keeping their distance, not because they've turned against Meghan and Harry, but because they don't want to get caught in what could be a very public implosion. And through it all, Tyler Perry remains silent. No confirmations, no denials, no leaks, just silence. And when someone with his influence says nothing, it usually means they're preparing to say everything at the right time, to the right buyer, for the right price. The Sussexes' story used to be tightly controlled. Every detail, every appearance, every headline was part of the plan. But now, they're no longer writing the narrative. They're bracing for it. Whatever's coming, whether it's a slow leak, a media bombshell, or a complete collapse, one thing's certain: the clock is ticking. And once that footage drops, they won't get to explain. They'll have to answer. Do you think Tyler Perry will actually release the footage? And if he does, what do you think it will reveal about Meghan and Harry? Drop your thoughts in the comments.